He's almost there and has touched down now on the centre line, and that's a splendid performance. Well done indeed. A little sigh of relief in the studio, but please don't show up. Now here's how Captain Rendell judged it, taking into consideration approach, touchdown and rollout. Fourth, Malcolm Cannon. He made a weaving approach and landed on the grass to the left of the runway, 2 points. Second equal, Kate Billimore, who recovered well after drifting off course to land on the runway, 6 points. And sharing second place, Graham Dean, who had to keep adjusting the height but kept on course for a good touchdown, also 6 points. And the winner, John Stewart. He flew perfectly down the glide slope and made a late adjustment to land in the centre of the runway. An excellent performance, 10 points. Now let's quickly transfer all those points into the scoreboard, and we now have joint leaders with Krypton factors of 16. The medical representative from Portsmouth, John Stewart, and still there, Kate Billimore. Close contest as we go into round 3 observation, where our contestants watch a short specially made film and try to spot 5 deliberate continuity errors. They could be verbal changes like a reference to Monday later becoming a Tuesday, or visual, for example a change in the set or a costume which shouldn't have happened. And for our new series, we proudly introduce to your screens a brand new television detective. Right, contestants, put your headphones on, please, and turn to your screens and see if you can spot the 5 continuity errors as Sam Smith investigates a haunting.
Forget what you see in the movies. Not all private eyes want their clients to be dumb and blonde. Me, I don't care what they're like, as long as they make out a check to Sam Smith Detection Incorporated. And if they're paying cash, well, they get to call me Samantha. Still, cash or account, this ain't my scene. Spooky set, 1 resident left, and a really weird case.
So, Miss Smith, do you think we ought to hold a séance?
Oh, I don't think that'll be necessary, Mrs. Arbuthnot.
My dear Frederick has come back to haunt me. Only my son, he won't believe it. He wants me to move out and leave my husband, but I can't do that now, can I? Almost 8 o'clock. My dear Arthur will be here in a moment. Funny thing, but since he's passed on, regular as clockwork. Frederick.
Mega heavy double serious dub wipeout.
Mega.
Hold it! I was beginning to have that warm feeling inside, the one that means a case is nearly solved and payday's on the way. So, are you going to stop broadcasting, or do I have to call the police?
Sort your life out. There's no need to get heavy. All right, I'm cut up that we upset the old granny, but we ain't about that at Dubwise Community Radio.
There you go, Mrs. Arbuthnot. You'll have peace and quiet until you move out.
But I've no intention of moving out, Miss Smith. My Frederick may no longer be here, but this is still my home, and I think you should call the police right away.
OK.
Unless, of course...
And now our latest service for our City Beat Community Radio listeners.
Hello, everyone. This is Letitia Arbuthnot here, welcoming you to a program of real music. And I would like to dedicate this first number to Frederick.
That's the lot. Turn to the front, please, contestants, and would you start writing down what you think the 5 continuity errors were. Now, for those of you who are trying to spot the 5 changes, here they are. The first change was to the teapot. A square one early on became a round pot later in the scene. Secondly, a name change.
My dear Frederick.
Became...
My dear Arthur will be here in a moment.
Error number 3 was a brooch which suddenly appeared on Mrs. Arbuthnot's cardigan. Fourth, a time error. Mrs. Arbuthnot said...
Almost 8 o'clock.
But the clock only chimed 3 times. Finally, a change to the name of the radio station.
Dubwise Community Radio.
Became...
City Beat Community Radio Listeners.
Well, I don't know how many you spotted, but I do know how our contestants fared, and it's time to break the news to them. Malcolm, you got 3 right. John, you also got 3 right. And Kate, it was 3 for you as well. And also for you, Graham. So it is a 4-way tie. Those points are now added into the scoreboard, so it means no change at the top. But there we are on Krypton factors of 26. The leaders are still Portsmouth's John Stewart and Walthamstow's Kate Billimore. Determined looks and a lot of tension, I'm sure, as all 4 contestants prepare to race down the brand new Krypton Factor Assault course. And it's Kate Billimore who starts off first, going through the 3-part fence, through the first section, over the second and under the third. And up the steps onto the balance beam, just 4 inches wide. And if she comes off that, of course, she would have to go back and redo the obstacle. But Kate, very fit. She was a county tennis player as a teenager and also represented her university at the sport. Now here go the 3 men nearest to us, Malcolm Cannon, then John Stewart and Graham Dean on the far side, but keep your eye on Malcolm Cannon in red. He's a tremendous athlete. He won the decathlon in the Kent County Championships back in 1984, also represented his university, St Andrews, at both rugby and athletics, and you can see it just the way he's moving down that course and into this very difficult new obstacle. It's the wooden tunnel, very constricted inside. You double back on yourself, and it demands tremendous technique to be able to do it at speed, as Malcolm Cannon is doing here. And all these obstacles designed to break your stride right from the start. So this course demands a lot more agility and a lot more technique. Down the fireman's pole, there's perfect technique, not even using his hands. So Malcolm's in the lead. Kate Billimore is in second place at the moment. And swinging across into that cargo neck. And there again, beginning to climb the minute he lands. And that's how he pulls away from all the other contestants. Doing absolutely brilliantly at the moment, Malcolm Cannon. And in fact, just swung into second place, Graham Dean behind him. So Graham in second place now. But Malcolm, the clear leader, as he goes down this very tricky S-bend descent. You almost fall through it, but still keep control. And it, in fact, can be quite bruising. So Malcolm onto the chain bridge, and behind him the battle goes on. Graham Dean in second place. Now he goes into that S-bend descent, and you can see just how tricky it is to get down through that. In third place now it's John Stewart, and Kate Billimore will be back in fourth place. But Malcolm powering up the A-frame, 30 feet high it is to the top of it. Graham Dean, the fireman from Halifax, in second place. And all the contestants have undergone an 8-week training schedule to prepare them for this course. And then you will notice in the background, men from the Army Physical Training Corps. They spent a whole day with our contestants, teaching them the right techniques for all these new obstacles. And all of them coping with it pretty well at the moment. None better than Malcolm Cannon here, as he comes to the top of the aerial slide, well ahead of Graham Dean in second place. Malcolm then begins his descent, and he'll be thinking immediately about his landing, about the right technique, about getting those knees up, planting the feet in, and he gets soaked to the skin there as he lands in the water. This is John Stewart in third place, but he's not very far behind Graham Dean. He still has a chance at the 6 points there if he can pull out something at the end. But no one will catch Malcolm Cannon as he goes into the last obstacle, all uphill through that maze, going over different level bars. And it's not troubling Malcolm in the slightest. He powers now to the finishing line. That's a brilliant run. Very fast time indeed. Well done, Malcolm Cannon. Now, Graham Dean in second place splashes down, and can John Stewart catch him before the finish? He comes straight at us at this minute, picks up the feet, and almost felt that at home. Now, back in fourth place, Kate Billimore just settling for the 2 points. But in fact, Graham Dean will not be caught in second place. He comes across the line now. He gets his 6 points, which leaves John Stewart from Portsmouth to finish third. 4 points for him, and Kate Billimore in fourth will get 2 points. And right away, let's transfer all those points into the scoreboard. And look at that. 3 contestants sharing second place on 28. Malcolm Cannon, Kate Billimore and Graham Dean. But the clear leader now, with a Krypton factor of 30, the medical representative from Portsmouth, John Stewart.
Bye.